Hello everyone, I'm Vaishnavi from class 8 and today we are going to understand the soil character and formation. As in the previous video, we have discussed the soil profile. So let us start that how is the soil formed. So soil character and formation of soil are determined by the following factors. Composition of parent rock. What is parent rock? Well, parent rock is consisting of bedrock that is pretty sandy and hard. Well, it means parent rock determines the basic characteristics of the soil. Well, if the parent rock consists of sandstone, then the soil will be sandy. If the parent rock consists of shale, then it gives rise to clay soil. It also determines that the soil will contain the inorganic elements or the minerals and contained with the soil will be similar to those contained in the parent rock. Second is the time of soil formation. Time very much is very important. Well, the nature of soil also depends on the time period for which the parent rock materials have been exposed to weathering, have supported vegetation. The longer the time of a soil has taken to form, the more mature it will be. Then, the third point that affects the formation of soil is the topography. If the land is hilly, the soil will be washed away as fast as it forms. Such areas have very thin and immature soil. So, the better is where you have a plain area where the soil is very thick and contains very much mature soil. Then the fourth factor that mostly affects soil is climate. Temperature, moisture influence the rate of the physical and chemical weathering and determines the soil formation. Decomposition of organic matter in the soil also gets influenced by the climate. For example, rate of decomposition is faster in hot and humid environment compared to the less hot and humid environment. Now let us discuss about the last factor that affects soil character and formation, that is living organisms. Organisms such as earthworms are very important in aerating the soil as they burrow through it. Well, I used the word aerating. What does aerating mean? Aerating means to supply with air or expose the circulation of air. Earthworms dig deep down in the soil and create air holes that aerate the oxygen present in the atmosphere in the soil. Well, this sentence means aerating the soil. Roots of plants also aerate the soil by holding in its place, thereby checking the soil erosion. Now let us understand the types of soil present in India. First is alluvial soil. In the map of India, we can see where the alluvial soil is present. It is basically in some parts of Uttar Pradesh, Haryana, and Delhi, and also nearby the Gujarat areas. Then I'm going to tell you about the alluvial soil. Well, alluvial soil we are going to discuss in the next half of this slide. Then we have the red soil, and then laterite soil, black soil, desert soil, mountain soil, and saline sandy soil. Now let us discuss that where these soils are present. Red soil is basically present in the areas of the east side of the India. Then coming to the laterite soil is present in the west side of India. It is very less present in India. Then comes the black soil. Black soil is basically in the Maharashtra and Madhya Pradesh side of India. Then we have the desert soil. It is obviously in the Rajasthan area. Then we have the mountain and saline sandy soil. Mountain soil is found in the Jammu Kashmir area and some parts of the East India, and the sandy saline soil is found in some areas of India. Very rare. Well, let us discuss the first soil and that is alluvial soil. Alluvial soil is deposited by the rivers as silt, fine sand, clay, and other fine materials carried out by water. Older alluvial soil was known as Bangar, and the new alluvial soil is known as Khadar. It is very fertile and sustains India's granaries. Then comes the red soil, deposited by the weathering of ancient crystalline, igneous rocks of peninsular plateau. As I told you in the previous slide, that that the red soil is present in the east area and in the south area of India. So it consists of the most ancient crystalline and igneous rocks of the peninsular plateau. Then comes the porous and not quite fertile because crops can only be grown here through fertilizers. Next comes the laterite soil and the black soil. Starting with the laterite soil, it is formed by the intense leaching. What do I mean by leaching? Well, leaching is a process when essential minerals from the topsoil percolate, means dig deep down in the soil profile with the rainwater, leaving the topsoil infertile. So, it is formed by the intense leaching of crystalline rocks due to heavy rains. Generally, the laterite soil is infertile. It can support tree crops like cashew and eucalyptus. Then comes the black soil, formed by the weathering of basaltic lava sheets in the Deccan Plateau. Black soil is basically present in the Maharashtra and Madhya Pradesh side and some parts of Gujarat. It is also called regular soil. So, question may be asked from this sentence that what is black soil also called? Well, the answer is regular soil. It is also holding moisture. It is well suited for the growing of cotton, millets, and sugarcane because of its humid temperature. Next comes the desert, mountain, and saline sandy soil. Well, desert soil is found in the Rajasthan areas. By listening the word desert means very hot climate is there. So water is not present in the soil a lot. With the help of irrigation, desert soil can be used to grow millets and maize. Let us understand the mountain soil. It is generally thin soil and not suitable for cultivation. It is found in the Jammu Kashmir areas and some part of Assam and the East India. Then comes the saline sandy soil. Some of the coastal areas have modified saline sandy soil suited to grow cotton palm trees. So now we have completed the types of soil in India. Let us start with how can we lose the soil? Well, loss of soil is caused by the processes called erosion, means soil erosion, and the soil exhaustion. We are going to understand the difference between them. The soil erosion. It is the removal of soil or physical loss of a layer of soil. Running water and wind are major agents of soil erosion. Soil exhaustion. Soil deteriorates, means releases or becomes deficient of its nutrients due to improper cultivation methods like overcropping, dry farming, multi-cropping, shifting cultivation, deforestation. Overgrazing by animals and over irrigation can cause soil exhaustion. Now let us understand that how can we conserve soil? Well, the key practices and techniques to how conserve soil are contour farming. What do we understand by contour farming? It is the practice of plowing at right angles, means at 90-degree to the slope, following of the contours of land. It prevents excessive soil loss and reduces runoff by waters, means it also prevents the soil erosion, not exhaustion. Then comes the terrace farming. Terrace farmings are the slopes are cut down into a series of step-like levels, terraces, which allow soil to remain stable and retain water. This is especially important in the mountainous areas. Then comes the strip cropping. Crops may be cultivated in alternate strips, some of which may be kept fallow while others are sown with different crops. Example of strip cropping can be like in one row we have planted the wheat crop, in the second row we have planted some leguminous plants that can also provide the nutrigenous waste to the other wheat crops and other millets, etc. So, strip cropping helps the nutrition value in the crops. Then comes the fallowing. What do we mean by fallow? As I used it in the term terrace farming also, in the strip cropping also. So, the fallowing word means to keep some land fallow or without crops, means to leave nothing on the land and to grow nothing on the land to recover its fertility, because atmosphere gives all its nutrients, some of it nutrient into the soil and keeps it fallow. Like in this background image itself, some of the land is kept fallow between the crops 1 and crops 2. So the land is kept fallow to regain its fertility. It also improves the moisture content and the texture of soil. Then is mulching. Mulching is the farming practice where soil is provided a protective cover so that its temperature can be stabilized and moisture can be retained to the optimal degree. It checks the soil erosion. It is a very expensive method for soil conservation. Then comes the crop rotation that we have heard in many books, in science also. So, crop rotation is the growing the same crop in a field for more than 2 years till this exhausts its soil fertility. It is the best alternate of soil enriching nitrogenous fixing crops with soil exhaustive grains and fiber crops so that fertility is returned to the soil. Then comes the windbreaks or the shelter beds. Tall growing crops and trees planted on the margins of field act as windbreakers and help to slow down the runoff by water and air. Earth bunds and embankments also help to check soil erosion. In deserts, shelter belts are planted perpendicular to the wind direction to reduce velocity of winds. Then comes the intercropping. It is a farming practice in which two or more crops are grown simultaneously on the same spot of land, wherein one exhausts the soil less and the another, like legumes, may add to its fertility. Then comes the drip irrigation. In this irrigation method, water is very slowly released to each plant at root level by drop method. The soil runoff with too much water is prevented. Means water is saved in this cropping method. Then comes the afforestation and the best way to conserve soil. Areas that are left with bare experience maximum soil erosion. Afforestation and reforestation can prevent this as tree roots bind with soil together and prevent soil erosion. So in this video, I would like to end up here itself. If you like my video, please do like and subscribe my channel and share this video with your friends. Thank you everyone.